Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, you know what to do. I am just getting tired of having to come on here and explain why there's so much inequality in the way Black quarterbacks are dealt with in the media and in the game as opposed to their white counterparts. Lamar Jackson, I came on here on Monday and I talked about how Lamar Jackson's having the greatest season ever for a football player, not a quarterback, for a football player. Yet, Lamar Jackson isn't even considered by the people who vote for MVP, the people who have a vote. He's not even considered to be an MVP candidate. His name doesn't pop up until somebody goes, what about Lamar Jackson? How is he not the first name? Because we have become brainwashed into believing that the only way to play quarterback in the NFL is the white way. The way that it's always been played by the people it's always been played by. The first Lamar Jackson MVP was one that was so undeniable they had no other choice. The team was great. The statistics were crazy. This year is better than that year. And nobody is having a better year. Tom Brady is putting up better statistics. He's not having a better year. He's thrown more touchdowns. He's not having a better year. They get into the red zone. They don't run the ball. They pass it. They have every single weapon known to man for him. 3 number 1 receivers. 2 starting tight ends. A third tight end who is, at one point in time, a double-digit touchdown receiver. 2 starting running backs. First-round draft picks all across this offensive line. They have every single weapon available to him. Every single protection. Every single thing. The offense has been completely and totally catered towards him getting a whole bunch of yards, and then when they blow people out, they don't even call the dogs off. He just continues to bludgeon them upside the head. I'm a Buccaneers fan. Tom Brady's not the MVP. He's not. But Lamar's not even getting consideration. You know, people still think Aaron Rodgers is the MVP, and I don't care about this COVID stuff, or I do, but we'll get to that in a second. I'm not talking about the COVID stuff, but damn, I'm just talking about on the field. People think Aaron Rodgers is the MVP. Why? Why? There's nobody more deserving than Lamar Jackson, especially this year. Yet, he is not even talked about until people bring him up on the back end. Mac Jones is considered the runaway rookie of the year. For some reason, the narrative keeps getting pushed. The narrative keeps getting pushed. He has not been great. He is operating within that system, and that system says, catch the ball, throw the ball. Catch the ball, throw the ball. That's why a wide receiver is on their team who was a 1,000-yard receiver and a deep threat all last year, and now he's relegated to a third or fourth option. His talents didn't fall off. He's still young. The difference is the quarterback he's playing for. When Derek Carr looks elite compared to you, then guess what? You're not that good. But the narrative is, oh, he's so mature. He's so. Meanwhile, Jalen Hurts, who's essentially a rookie, all these people that tell me, oh, well, he's seen it before. The man played 3 games. He played 3 games for a coach he no longer has, in a system he's no longer in. And you're telling me he can't. Oh, by the way, he's the exact same age as Mac Jones. And people act like he needs to be replaced. And his statistics are better than Mac Jones' statistics. Throws less picks, throws more touchdowns. Throws less picks, throws more touchdowns. Rushing numbers, don't even use those. He's tougher. I mean, come on. What are we talking about here? Mac Jones is with the greatest NFL coach in the history of man. Jalen Hurts is with a first-year coach who seems to be trying to figure it out on the fly. This is the world we live in when it comes to how we are perceived. Aaron Rodgers was fined. He was fined for his role in not fully disclosing his vaccination status or whatever it might be. And the amount he was fined, essentially, I want to get to it because Dan Ravel tweeted it out last night. He said that Aaron Rodgers was fined $14,650 for violation of the COVID protocol, based on his $22.4 million salary. Based on his $22.4 million salary, that's the equivalent of fining the average American $33.80. So you're telling me that Aaron Rodgers putting his entire team in jeopardy with how he handled his COVID protocol violation is only worth a $14,000 fine, yet people are getting fined double-digit thousands of dollars for taunting penalties? For taunting penalties. Really? Mac Jones grabbed the defender's leg after he made a mistake. He grabbed the defender's leg, tried to pull him down, twisted him, and injured him. It's on camera. How is he not suspended? How is he not suspended? That's not a fine. You tried to purposely harm somebody because you made a mistake. You tried to purposely harm somebody because you made a mistake, and you're telling me you don't get suspended? I don't care what the fine is. He should lose a game and a game check. That cannot be allowed to happen. And you know what? If Justin Fields had done that, they would have called him immature. If Justin Fields had called that, they would have said, see, that goes back to him at Georgia, not being able to handle adversity, blah, 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 blah. See, we're not being fair in the way in which we cover these people, but then we're not even being fair in the way in which we find these people. If Mac Jones is allowed to do that, if Aaron Rodgers is allowed to operate in the manner that he's been able to operate, and there are no penalties or penalties that don't even move the needle, then what does it say? It says we don't care. But who do you not care about? Is it universal? You say you want quarterbacks to be protected. You say that. But every time I look up, I see a black quarterback getting blasted and no call being made. Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields, Teddy Bridgewater, Tyrod Taylor, Jameis Winston. It's not just the athletic quarterbacks that are not being protected. It's all of them. And the sad part about it is sometimes they're being violated right in the pocket. Huh? Are you listening? These violations are happening in the pocket, and nobody is doing anything about it. These refs are not doing anything about it. Why? Is it because these black quarterbacks look big and strong and fat? They should be able to protect themselves. Because if Drew Brees got breathed on, if you blew by Drew Brees too fast, they caught the roughing the passer penalty on you. If you slapped Tom Brady on the butt, that's a roughing penalty. If you bump into Aaron Rodgers, that's a roughing penalty. And so on and so forth. Yet it's not a coincidence. These guys are complaining about being hit in a manner that shouldn't be hit. They understand when I run. Cam Newton used to get blasted all the time. He used to get blasted all the time. He didn't complain about the ones where he was running and he was being physical and he ran over somebody or whatever and he had to take a shot. He's not complaining about those. He understands the game. That's the way the game works. That is the way the game works. But what is he supposed to do when he's already given his body up? He's running out of bounds. He's taking the foot off of the gas. And then he gets blasted. That would be a penalty everywhere else for any other quarterback that does not look like Cam Newton, that does not look like Jalen Hurts. But it's not. There's a picture of Justin Fields talking to the referee, asking him, hey, you just gave Ben Roethlisberger that call. You just gave Ben Roethlisberger. They know it. They notice it. And in many ways, they're fined if they say something about it. Or if I talk bad about the referees, then I get fined. So if I can't defend myself and I can't bring it to the attention of the public, because that's the only way things ever change is when you bring it to the public, then how do I ever get justice? How do I ever get equality? Somebody will listen to this or part of this and say, oh man, he's out here race baiting. No. I want a world where I don't have to mention black and white, ladies and gentlemen. I want a world where I don't have to mention man or woman. I want a world where I don't have to mention gay or straight. I want a world where there's not just this or that. I just want us to be us. But I can't keep ignoring this stuff. I can't ignore it and act like it's not happening. I can't ignore it and act like it's not going down. This is the world we're living in. And until something is done, until we don't have to watch a Pickett from Pitt make an astronomical rise through the rankings and all of a sudden be considered QB1 when he hasn't been good for 4 years of his 5 years, 6 years, however many years he's been at Pitt. When I don't have to watch that happen, like I have to watch every single year them find some random white quarterback who's having a decent season to all of a sudden catapult to number one, while there have been other guys who don't look like him continually put work in. So if you're not going to protect them, and you're not going to promote them, and you're not going to give them the awards and accolades that they deserve, then what are we supposed to do? We got to address it. And that's what I'll do. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on my YouTube channel, you know what to do. Until next time,